Good afternoon. My name is Tyler Weaver, and I will be going through the first videotaped presentation. In this presentation, I will talk about the strategy that I have chosen to use within its context and within the context of music education, specifically elementary education. The strategy I've chosen to use is from the Robb textbook, Teaching Reading, Social Studies, Science, and Math. And it's the brainstorming and categorizing strategy. Within the strategy, it talks about using this for an anticipatory set or a bell ringer or something to activate prior knowledge within a student. This can be used in a whole group. This can be used in a small group, or this can be used individually with different students. So I've chosen this strategy because I think one of the most important things to do is to activate a student's knowledge, students' learning before they even start. If they are interested, if they are engaged before you even start a lesson, it is more likely that they are going to learn within that. They're going to be actively participating in your lesson. They're going to be more engaged and more excited about what they're learning if they can have if they can understand what they're getting into. So throughout this, I'll be talking about the aspect of music education in the elementary setting. One thing in particular is there is a CSO for the music elementary. It comes around first and second grade, and it's students will learn 5 different voices within context. There are 5 voices that the students should learn in music. One is speaking, one is obviously singing, one is shouting, one is whisper, and one is the pretend voice. So they will be able to engage in these 5 different voices. They will not only be able to recognize them when in a reading situation, if you're reading a book that is a music-based book to them, they will be able to identify what is a singing voice. They'll be able to identify your speaking voice. They'll be able to identify their outside voice or their shouting voice. They will be able to identify the whisper, the inside voice, and they will be able to understand and acknowledge the pretend or character voice. Not only will they be able to understand this and pick it out when you're reading to them or if you're singing or talking to them, but they'll be able to perform it. And that comes with that same CSO. They'll be able to identify and perform the 5 different types of voices: the singing, speaking, shouting, whisper, and pretend voice, or the character voice. So, like I said, with the brainstorming and categorizing, I will use this strategy and this CSO and use this as an anticipatory set. Actually, I had planned on using this for each and every classroom, each and every meeting I have the students. I will be using this, and it really engages them and helps them actively participate throughout the classroom that day and throughout the semester and the grading period that you have those specific students. So, without being too embarrassing, this is something that I've chosen that I think effectively teaches this strategy to the students. I would first make a sock puppet, and like I said, it's a little embarrassing. If you're not an elementary person, if you're more of a secondary person, this might be something outside of your comfort range. But I think this really engages the students, and I mean, as soon as you pull out a sock puppet, and it's nothing really that fancy that you have to make, that you have to do. This took me probably 5 minutes to get the super glue and the buttons and the yarn together, and or not super glue, but the hot glue gun, and put this all together. But this is something, I mean, as soon as you pull out a sock puppet, elementary students, at least up until maybe 3rd and 4th grade, are going to be engaged, and they're going to be excited about that. They're going to have fun with it. So what you would do, and what I've chosen, is a specific song that you can work through with the students, and it's called the Hello Song. And so the Hello Song is something that teaches the 5 different types of voices. And so I'm just going to go ahead and sing through the whole thing. Then I will break it down on which areas that you can use the 5 different types of voices. The first voice that you would use to get the students familiar with the song, with the Hello Song, would be just the singing voice. And it goes, "Hello there, how are you? It's so good to see you. We'll sing and be happy that we're all here together today. Cha-cha-cha." And like I said, that's a little embarrassing for the secondary majors that might not want to do this or to teach this in a way, and I don't think middle school and high school students would really be too excited and to engage for this. But with this, as you could see, I taught the first voice, that you can use through this, and that was the singing voice. And I'll put this back on. I haven't named him yet. I don't know if it's a him or a her. I don't know. I just kind of made it, and it's something that you could even get the students actively participating in. They can name it. They can choose what it is, backstory, whatever you want. They can create the character of the sock puppet. But the first voice was the singing. Hello there. That can be used as well as the speaking voice. Hello there. The shouting voice. Hello there. The whisper. Hello there. And the pretend. Hello there. Again, embarrassing for the secondary, right at home with the elementary majors. But this is something that you can mix it up, whatever you're teaching on that day. If you're going to be singing, if you're going to actively engage the students in a story, you can use the shouting, the speaking, the whisper, the pretend voice, and the singing voice, all in tandem with this song, and you can really activate their knowledge and understanding before you even go into the lesson. So they'll be kind of expecting or knowing what to expect. If you're singing that day, they know they're going to be singing. If you're speaking that day, they know they're going to be learning a different way than singing in the music classroom. But right now I'm going to do that song and kind of put the 5 different voices in. And again, this is the Hello Song. Hello there. How are you? It's so good to see you. We'll sing and be happy that we're all here together today. Cha-cha-cha. And as you can see, you can activate their knowledge with those 5 different types of voices. And really, to get participation, you would sing this a couple times. You will be able to teach this to the classroom, and eventually you'll work up to where the students are comfortable enough with the song. You might have to lead them through a couple times, but I would like to get to a point where, using the Hello Song, the students can actually lead it, and I will tell the students how to do it, where to put the different voices, and they can be the ones that it can be a student-led lesson, that you can have a student-led classroom. And with this, I would use the brainstorming and the categorizing. Of course, the categorizing would come with the 5 different types of voices. In the brainstorming, I wouldn't tell the students what voices I'm going to use. I'm going to have them listen to the song, and they're going to, before they even start a lesson, before they even start with the day, as soon as they come in the classroom, they start the Hello Song. Every classroom, or every class that they come into, they will be participating in the Hello Song. And the brainstorming, I'll get them thinking with what voices am I using? I'm going to sing through the song, and we're going to talk about what voices were used, and that will engage them in knowing the 5 voices. When the students lead it, the other students that aren't leading, they can categorize, they can brainstorm, and we'll go into what voices did that student use, and we'll be able to talk about that. And with this, we'll also be able to talk about the social aspect, the social responsibilities of each student within the classroom. Of course, the shouting voice is something that will only be something for outside, on the playground or during recess, or within that classroom. We will talk about the social responsibility of you do not shout within your own, when you're in the regular classroom. You do not shout, you speak with your inside voice. We'll talk about the social responsibility with the shouting. With the speaking voice, we'll talk about the social responsibility with how to speak to others, how to interact with each other. With the whisper voice, we'll talk about that is our inside voice, and that's what we will use to engage within context and socializing with the teacher or with other classmates that we don't want to be disruptive. So that will be our whisper voice. The pretend voice, it can go with whatever you're reading. You'll talk about the different characters. You'll be able to develop a different character for each book you're reading. If you're reading about a talking horse, that's going to have a specifically different voice than if you're reading a book about a cat or about a human. So you'll be able to develop the different voices and to get the students engaged and participating. And I think it would kind of engage the students and make them excited about what they're reading. If you just read it monotone, if you just read a portion of a book, or if you're reading something to the students that you want them to grasp, and if it's the character of a cat, and you're just monotone reading through it, just as any other book. If you're reading a history textbook, if you're reading that the same as you read the cat, the cat part of the book, it really doesn't engage the students. They really don't feel a part of it. They don't really feel excited about the book if you're reading monotone. So being able to put these voices and characters in when appropriate for what you're reading and what you're doing, what you're actively participating about, really engages the students, really gets them involved, and makes them want to learn, makes them want to participate, and really, when you get the students excited before you even teach a lesson, they'll be already wanting to learn whatever else you teach them. They'll be excited about, and they'll be wanting to learn what you have. So again, the brainstorming and categorizing strategy, it would be used as an anticipatory set, or something to activate prior knowledge, or to engage them, to get them excited, to get them ready for what they're going to learn. This is a getting ready to learn strategy. So being able to do that will benefit you in the long run with whatever content, whatever else you're going to present to them that day. So with the Rob textbook, that is categorizing and strategy, the strategy of categorizing and brainstorming. Thank you.